for 3.
I was thinking more like eating 3 Wendy's 3 for... Wow.
Well, I do know this lore you are referring to.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna run everything back again because it was not recording properly. So we're gonna play the intro again.
Oh my
God damn it!
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
This is my head.
No one can see your head.
Yeah, what?
Welcome to the Fly You Fools podcast, the podcast that talks a little about J.R.R. Tolkien and his work and a lot about everything else. Enjoy this time with your fellow fools, Tibbs K, Jacob and Cooper. Thank you for listening.
For some reason, I'm kind of scared that Dylan's going to bust in my room right now. I don't know why, but I just have this feeling he's watching me.
I mean, he is, dude. He's hacked into your webcam. He's watching you crank it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he does.
This isn't the only thing I'm streaming right now.
So I just want to get a big congratulations out of the way for Jacob Adams, who actually watched the movie this week.
How do you know I actually watched the movie, though, John?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you did,
I know. I'm honestly gonna trust him when he.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm gonna be chived. I'm. Did you seriously not watch it all?
No, I did finish it.
Because the ending's the whole fucking point.
But it'd be kind of funny if I didn't.
No, yeah.
Right? Wouldn't that be kind of funny, Cooper?
It would be very funny, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of an old joke, though. I think I pulled that one maybe one or two many times.
Yeah, 1 or 2. Once or twice.
It was funnier with the book.
Right. Fair enough. Well, I did watch the movie, and I think we should get into that a little bit.
I mean, what did you think of it? Cooper thinks it's good. Dylan didn't love it. I'm
I was joking when I said that.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was obviously not I was just trying to make it why did he not see a point in that movie?
I mean, I think what I was gonna respond at that text was the point is Joaquin Phoenix can fucking act.
Dude, he killed it.
He is such a good actor.
Yeah. He was in I think he was in every single scene too.
Yep. There's not a scene that he's not in.
Oh, that's kind of a good point.
There are times when it's literally just him. Doing nothing but the TV interview thing when he pretends to be on Murray's show.
Oh, that's who that was?
No, shut up. Oh my god.
No.
You didn't know it was Joaquin?
No. But you've got to give a hand to Leto too.
To who?
He did pretty good as a Joker.
Jared Leto?
Jared Leto?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Dylan's wait, I watched Suicide Squad.
I kind of would have rather watched Suicide Squad. I'm not gonna.
No, you wouldn't have.
The movie's so bad.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh my fuck!
Dylan, you
I
really
watched it on Amazon Prime.
No, you did watch it.
Yeah, you watched the right one.
I don't know. Dylan's pretty simple.
Well, because Suicide Squad isn't on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
But no, I mean I think it's really good. I think I'm impressed with the director. I don't know if you guys knew this, but he directed The Hangovers. That was his claim to fame. Todd Phillips. He directed The Hangovers before this, and I guess the reason he really liked doing this is because he feels like comedy can't be done anymore.
True.
Which I don't necessarily agree with at all.
What does he mean by that?
Because he
get
made
canceled?
a kind of comedy that you definitely can't really make anymore with The Hangovers. You know what I mean? With date rape, drugs, the paging doctor scene, that just doesn't fly anymore. And he got upset and then went back and now made the Joker, which he didn't write, but you can I mean, he directed the shit out of it. The cinematography looks great. Joaquin did amazing. Every scene is so well put together.
What is his nationality, Joaquin?
I mean,
what is he?
He's Asian, Jacob.
Really?
Taiwanese.
Yeah, he's Thai. He's Thai.
I mean, I think he's straight up American.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he was born in America. Well, I guess
John,
he was
you're an
actually
English
born in
major. You
Puerto
should know
Rico,
this.
but
Mm-hmm.
I
Did
don't
you
Joaquin
know-
Phoenix just doesn't strike me as an American.
Well,
It just
and
sounds like he's something.
his brother was River Phoenix.
Mm.
Sounds like his parents, were
Almost like Native American.
like Native Americans, maybe smoking the peace pipe,
Right.
or it's a stage name and it's just a fake name, which is also more likely
so
than any
he
of the other
was
things.
born
His
John,
name is
pull that
like
up.
John Leibowitz or something.
He was born in Puerto Rico, but to American, like both American parents from the mainland, so he has no Spanish in him at all. And his family's name are River, Rain, Liberty, and Summer. So his parents were fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
and they were living in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
So
I mean 100%. Like,
That's
No.
nuts.
yeah, that's obviously like 100% true. But I mean, the guy, like, I don't love, because he's like a big fucking like environmentalist and an animal activist, and like that's great. Like, do your thing, but I don't love. I think he, like, I don't know. Like, he's the type of guy that like uses his award ceremony to be like, and if everyone went vegan, the world would be a better place. And I kind of hate that preachy, like, very celebrity thing. But I guess he's making a difference, and I'm not. So, what the hey? But, I mean, at the end of the day, he's probably, at this point, looking at his IMDb, the amount of movies that he actually murders, like, just acting-wise, is so good. Like, he's
Gladiator?
yeah.
he's in Gladiator. Oh,
Dude,
he's
Master.
the
Yeah.
emperor.
Her.
Oh.
Her.
Walk the Line. Like, he's done a killer amount of stuff. And each one of those movies, you could be like, I mean, fucking close to award winning. Like, at least in my opinion. Because
we should watch Gladiator next. That movie's
I
fucking
was
awesome.
thinking. I've been thinking about that for the past week, Jacob. That exact thing.
That's a cool movie.
Yeah, it's so good. It's a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I think that's better than Joker for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Gladiator's better than the Joker.
Yeah.
Because the Joker's not a movie you want to watch, like, more than once.
No, let's talk about the Joker some more here. So, I enjoyed it, but what do you guys think about the ending? Like, do you think that I was reading some speculation online that it was like all in his head, and he was in the insane asylum the whole time, actually.
Oh, no, I don't think that's true at all.
I don't think that's true, just because based on what we know the Joker is and what he becomes.
What I read
as
is
the
that
villain.
Oh, what I read was that actually it was all in Bruce Wayne's head, like this whole thing, and you know that because of the scene where his parents get killed, and then it cuts to the Joker in the insane asylum, and so that shows how it's actually a figment of Bruce's imagination.
Why
That
is
did
it
not
Bruce's?
prove anything.
Yeah,
What you just said made no sense at all.
I was confused by the ending because I was like, how did he get from
Of course you were.
the mob to the hospital, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But I
so-
think it's not Bruce's. If anything, what the twist they were trying to go for was that it could have just all been imagined by the Joker, and like even though the movie was imagined, he's still like just as fucking crazy because he just murdered that lady. And it doesn't even matter that it was imagined.
Well, I mean, and so, like, filmmaking wise, the way you're supposed to be able to tell when the realism, like when he's imagining things, is the hues on the camera. So whenever he's like imagining something, there's like a blue hue contrasted with like a yellow hue, and it's almost all the time with that girl that he's seeing. But
Yeah, because all that was like nonsense. And
Yeah,
when I was
like-
watching it, I was like, "This makes no sense." That she's
So
hanging out with him.
Well,
I didn't like how they later backtrack and show you that it was an imagination, because it was so obvious that it was
Yeah,
an imagination.
That's another point.
here's what I
Wow,
will
they
say.
really had me
I watched it
fooled.
with my girlfriend.
Did it
and-
actually have you
yeah,
guys fooled?
Had me fooled for sure.
Hannah believed it 100%. She was like,
Really?
yeah.
I immediately
I mean,
was like,
no.
oh, obviously this is an imagination.
Well, the
At
biggest
first-
giveaway is she knows his name.
Yeah,
She
I
goes,
like
Arthur, you're
thought-
so funny. Like, what?
And he's clearly not funny. That was also a giveaway.
Okay, well, here's something I will contest. His jokes are fucking fantastic. Like, his little thing about, like, I was like, my mom said you're going to have to work for a living. He's
Yeah.
like, no, I won't, Mom. I'm going to be a comedian. It's because he's a bad comedian is the reason that works. Because he won't have work as a comedian. Like, that's why. And then the whole thing is like, everyone laughed at me. Who's laughing now? That joke only works if no one's laughing at you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then it's hilarious. And I do think there are little bits in this movie that are really funny. The biggest one being when he just runs right into the fucking hospital door.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, not everything in life is a joke, and like throws his cigarette and just hits his head straight up. And I love that. I mean, I love the little bits where he's dancing and then the cops come and he just instantly takes off. His run in this is hilarious.
Yeah.
John,
No,
you
it
can
definitely-
really learn a thing or two about comedy from the Joker.
So that's actually a question I wanted to ask. Who among us, the four of us, do we think is most like the Joker here?
Dylan.
That was fast. Okay. All right. I think there's two obvious answers. But what do you
Jacob
guys?
or me, yeah.
I would agree with both of those 100%.
Well, I was thinking it was either definitely Dylan or John.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
so my story arc fits more in line
Yeah.
with the
Right.
Jokers in this particular movie. Like, struggling
Dylan.
comedian living with his mom. Like, the parallels are definitely there.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? Like, they're
Yeah.
Right. The imaginary girlfriend, all
well,
that.
okay,
Right,
but it's like the insanity aspect that is just
Right,
not
that's-
there.
It's Dylan.
Like, I don't have the balls to just shoot three guys on the subway. I just
But,
let them
I've
kick the
done
shit
that.
out of me.
Like, that's just Dylan's sense and stuff like that. It's kind of right there.
No, but like, I thought like going into this movie, I'd heard a lot. Like, no spoilers or anything. I just heard it was like heavy and stuff, and I was expecting it to be a lot more like deep. I don't know, like work as a viewer, but they just really spelled it out. Like the undertones were like very loud overtones. Like when he's in her apartment and it doesn't feel right, and then she comes out and she's like, "Oh my god." That moment you immediately know, like, oh, he's fucking super nuts and she doesn't even know him.
Well, and how Jacob
But
said
then
that
they do the
show-
flashbacks. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, now we really know. Like,
No,
Right,
I mean,
right.
I agree 100%. Like,
And, like,
I,
the way they show his journal, and it's like, okay, you already kind of really know what's going on here, and then it's like a very punctual sentence to drive it home about it. Like you can just
no,
it spells it completely out for you.
100%. I mean, takes no guesswork.
Yeah, the
Uh,
ending makes it take a little to guesswork, but that's
Well,
it.
And I think what the thing the movie doesn't show with the guesswork is the Batman connections. So like,
Mhm.
there's actually like a lot of really, and that's what I think, like, outside of like the social commentary that it gives. I think that if they tie this into the new Batman movie that's set to take place in the 90s, and this took place in the 70s, so Joaquin would technically have to be older, and they said they're not going to use that Joker, but I still think that they can do a different Joker who's like inspired by that Joker, because the whole kind of like, it makes more sense with Bruce's parents and the way they get killed. Little things like I don't know if you knew this, but like the Joker's henchman is like comically like the big giant guy and the midget,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
like little things like that are small tie-ins. I was expecting Harley Quinn at the end to be interviewing him, but I guess since he kills that girl at the end, that it wouldn't have really worked out that way. But there are little like well placed like sewn in things. I think the one thing that I was upset with as a comic book fan was that Alfred would have fucked him up.
Right. I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, was that Alfred? Oh, okay.
That was Alfred.
Yeah, I was like, Alfred's kind of a bitch here.
Yeah, and he's like a special, like a former
he's
SAS member. Like
he's got his hands all over the kid's face. He's just like, you gotta go.
Yeah. And
Alfred would have been way more cool there.
100%. And there's other little bits like the bat pole. Like that was just for comic book fans. That just
what
like,
was it?
Like when Bruce Wayne's on the playground and they just have him slide down that pole. Oh. It's like a reference to like the old 90s cartoons, how like even though Batman has like the technological like abilities of Iron Man, he still slides down a fucking pole. And people are like, ha ha ha. Like there's a lot of little fun little bits thrown into that movie, and that was fun to watch for me. But you're not wrong. Like the cultural subtext isn't subtext. Like it has a direct message, and especially with that ending scene. I mean, because the ending scene is how it all comes together.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Explain that. I didn't really get the ending.
The creation of the Joker as a character,
and like the movement itself, and then it shows like how he could be, like, I don't know. I mean, because the whole thing, I don't know if you guys remember when it came out. They were like, police were like, there's confirmed credible threats that there's going to be shootings at the Joker movies, and like all this like crazy hype because it is a movie about
that
turning
it's
a movie about turning like a crazy psycho mass shooter into a hero, like, through the eyes of the city, and how it like judges from society. And like the thing on Reddit is, in the script, I guess they literally, instead of saying society, he says system. And like the whole gamer thing is like, we live in a society and like shit like that. So people were very like, oh, like he's calling out to like all of the gamers who worship the Joker and all this shit, and like there's gonna be mass shootings and whatnot. And I mean, I never thought that was gonna happen, and nothing did happen. But I can see why, watching this movie, it would make you very uncomfortable.
Yeah, if I was watching this in a high-strung area, I'd be like, and if I was watching it in a movie theater, I would be like, oh god, like someone's gonna fucking whip a gun out.
Yeah, for sure. It's got. You clipping your nails?
No.
Okay, never mind.
I have no idea what fucking crackhead told you that theory, though, Jacob, that it was all in Bruce Wayne's head.
I mean, I posted that on my blog, so.
Okay, so there are like two main problems, and they're not really that big of a deal. And I guess they're both solved if you take this as its own universe, its own Joker. This is one take on the Joker. This isn't the Joker that necessarily ties into the Joker versus Batman in any other like version. But the two main things I see, the first one is sweet and simple. The Joker is like 50 and Batman
he's way too old.
Is 8. And so like let's assume Batman is at least 25 before he comes Batman. The Joker would be 70, so that's a problem right there.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
He was like 30-something in this movie.
Dude, no, man. He was at least in his 40s.
He had some gray hair, bro.
And even so, even if he was in his 30s, you can assume he's late 30s.
You saw Jay? Dude, he's 28.
Yeah.
Was he actually?
Yeah.
That's what he said, something like that.
All right. Well, okay. So the other thing, and this is the bigger thing, is that the Joker in every version is like kind of insane, but he's always extremely competent and
he's
really
smart. Yeah.
And this Joker was not. This Joker had no idea what was going on ever.
Right. He's not smart.
Right.
I have a rebuttal though.
Okay.
At the end of the movie, he was starting to get a little bit of his composure because he started not like covering up his crazy side and just let it
and he
be.
Stopped taking his meds too.
Yeah, he just started being like himself and was like dancing freely and not like freaking out as much.
Dylan, that could be a message to you. Maybe you should start taking your meds.
I should really. I think I'm gonna start going to the grocery store, fire a gun into the roof, and then pour milk on me while I do that little dance he does.
Amazing.
Good touch.
Yeah.
So John, what is the Joker's canon story? Like,
I mean, if
like
if we're going from comics,
sure, yes.
because that's the original, is that it's like his name is Arthur Fleck.
Which, by the way, is a very crazy sounding name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what happens is that he's actually like a basically just a common criminal at first, and he's a magician and like a stand-up comedian thing that tries to like do his own thing, but he's just a very, very bad criminal. And the reason he gets into crime is because he's stealing money for his mother's medications, and then he tries to buy a ring for his wife and stuff like that. It's all these like crimes of kind of passion in a way, almost like the Sandman in Spider-Man 3, where like you realize like, oh, he's robbing banks to like pay for his daughter's cancer treatment. And the thing is how it's supposed to mirror is that during one heist, something goes fucking super wrong. He accidentally falls into a vat that dyes his skin white. And then his wife gets murdered by the mob or something like that. And he just fucking snaps. He has nothing to live for. All he does now is just try to show people how funny life is. And that goes back into this whole thing tying up with like how at the end when he's like, in my entire life I thought it was a tragedy, but now it's a comedy. But when you look at what a tragedy means in like the classic literature sense, it's a story that doesn't have a happy ending. Or no, a comedy is. So that's why they call Dante's Inferno like the divine comedy. Like comedy used to be a much large, like it's like any reign of emotion that isn't just like, oh, here's the hero. Like Odysseus is not a comedy because it's just the hero like fucking shit up time after time after time. A comedy has the happiness and the sadness, and for him to go like that, like, and then he also mentions when he's in the girl's apartment and she doesn't know who he is, he goes, I had a bad day. And that goes back to this comic that goes over the origins of the Joker, and that's where you get the whole falling in the vat thing from. And like Cooper said, there are a bunch of different iterations of the Joker that technically all have their different backstories. So like the Dark Knight Joker didn't have the same backstory as the fucking I don't know, like Jared Leto's Joker. Like they all are slightly different, but they all typically have in mind that they have one bad day that causes them to go crazy. And how they contrast that is with Batman's one bad day is having both of his parents killed in front of him, because Batman's fucking insane. Like if you play it all out and you talk about the type of guy Batman is, I mean, it takes a really shitty time to turn a guy into basically a sociopath who trains his entire life just to beat people up with the mask on. You know, like if you boil it all down, the Joker and the Batman, very close, the same. And that goes back to that whole like killing thing. Batman doesn't kill. Joker has no problem with killing. And that's where he says, oh, I am better than you because I don't kill. And even going back further, if you go back to the end of that comic called The Killing Joke, which is a great, there's like a novelization of it on YouTube that's done by Mark Hamill and the voice of Batman and all this different stuff. But The Killing Joke actually has Batman kill the Joker, which is it was a one-off comic, so
That's
it's not
heady.
canon. But like, there's this thing where like, they're all like, it's technically when Batgirl becomes a cripple because Joker shoots her, takes a bunch of pictures of her naked when she's paralyzed, and like uses that to try and drive Commissioner Gordon insane to prove that all it takes is one bad day to turn a good person into a bad person. But Commissioner Gordon doesn't, and Batman's like, I'm proud of you. And then he goes off to fight the Joker, and they go through this big old battle, and at the end of it, Joker tells him a joke where he's like, 2 prisoners are escaping from a prison and they have to jump across a ledge, and one of them goes, hey, I got an idea. I'll take my flashlight, shine it across the ledge, and you can simply walk across. And the other guy goes, what, are you crazy? You'll turn it off when I get halfway across. And then Batman finally laughs, and it's implied that he strangles him to death. Which, I mean, I like that joke. I think that's a funny joke.
Wait, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Because he's like, what are you, crazy? You're going to turn it off when I get halfway across. Like, no, the crazy part is you think you can walk on a beam of light.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I require a lot of explaining, so.
Well, and then people say that that makes it a bad joke if you have to explain it. But again, like, this all goes back into the things that they bring up throughout the movie, which is why it's fun to watch it as a comic book fan. He says, like, I had a bad day after he killed or found out his mom was like lying to him and all that stuff.
That stuff's cool.
And then
it is cool.
All ties back into Bruce, because then you see Bruce at the end of it, and the guy who kills Bruce's parents is wearing a clown mask, and this is what a lot of fans had a big problem with, was because then it does explain Bruce's rivalry with the Joker more, but Bruce is not supposed to be just about fighting crime like the Joker. He's supposed to be about fighting crime at a larger scale. So having it be a random mugger makes a little bit more sense.
Mm-hmm. It kind of...
Yeah.
It kind of encourages the, like...
That he's fighting everybody.
Randomness of it all. Yeah.
And it's like a symptom of the city rather than like, oh, this was a movement started by one guy. Which is, again, why they say... And I don't necessarily take anyone at their word in the comic book movie industry, is they say that the Batman is not going to do anything with this Joker, and Cooper's right, that it's just going to be like a one-off. They're not going to touch on this Joker. This was just DC showing everyone, like, hey, you know how everyone likes those Marvel movies that are essentially the same fucking movie every single time? Like, they're fine. They're solid films, but like Iron Man is basically Doctor Strange, is basically Spider-Man, is basically Star-Lord, you know? There's not a whole lot of depth to those characters.
All right, this one was almost more like Wolverine or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Logan would be
Logan,
the best.
yeah.
Logan, yeah.
The closer thing to it. And even that one wasn't Marvel. That was Fox. And the Joker kind of said, well, hey, we're not going to start... We're done with the whole Justice League thing. That was clearly a really bad idea. Like, we can't beat Marvel at their own game, so we're going to try making these actually thought-provoking and very well-done movies that are also incredibly much lower budget. Like, Joker...
Right.
Yeah, I prefer that.
And everyone does, because I mean, it's like a bombarding of the senses when you go watch a Marvel movie.
Well,
Not
Batman at its nature is just a much darker, kind of like Watchmen too, but it's like a much darker and more like, you know, more thought-provoking type, less fun atmosphere than any of the Marvel characters, for sure.
Definitely just better.
DC in general is dark, all across the board, and
the movies too are just better, just more quality and more.
Well, that's
not all of them,
necessarily
though.
True. DC Universe movies have been shit head.
Yeah, they're so
the
bad.
Batman movies though, the recent
Batman
ones,
movies.
all
But
those.
even the Batman movie, like, those are another thing that, like, they've said, like, hey, we're not building a universe off of this, because Christopher Nolan wouldn't have done it. If
that's why they're better.
No, and I agree. But it's like, now DC, they are going to start building this universe with Robert Pattinson's The Batman. And the thing about that is, timeline-wise... Yeah. No, I mean, it looks really good. If you go watch the trailer, I mean, it looks fantastic. And they said...
I'm totally ignorant of this.
We're scrapping the Ben Affleck Batman. Henry Cavill will come back as Superman just because he actually was a very good Superman. But they're restarting everything, is what they said. So...
Well, how can you have the same Superman if you're restarting everything?
Well, how can you have... I mean, Jonah Jameson is the same actor in the new Marvel Spider-Man movies.
Who's that?
The guy that plays, like, the newspaper man in the first Spider-Man.
Picture.
Yeah. Parker. Get in
Parker.
There.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. He's worth it.
Well, yeah, because some guys
he's
are just
perfect for
fucking
that.
great in the role, you know. And like Henry Cavill, like, he has the build. He's not a bad Superman. He just happened to be cast in a bunch of really bad Superman movies.
Yeah.
And
John, what's your role?
Huh?
Where do you fall into all this?
Dude, where I fall into all this is hoping that fucking filmmakers can't wrap their grubby little hands around video game franchises and then I come in and just become the Joss Whedon of fucking video game movies when I'm able to make movies and just big dick my way into Hollywood, making a Halo movie that deserves to be made. I mean,
Damn,
I talked about this with my friends. Like, video games are sitting on a rabid fan base of people that would spend so much. I mean, you could do the bare minimum.
Very betrayed fans.
But very betrayed fans. And they've had a rough history of it. I mean, and that new Monster Hunter movie looks shitty. They announced a new Uncharted movie where Tom Holland's playing Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg's playing Sully. And they had that Michael Fassbender Assassin's Creed movie that also was some serious asshole because they didn't even talk about half the shit that's Assassin's Creed supposed to be about. Like, the fact that there hasn't been a nerd yet that's just sat down and said, hey, if we just basically copy every single one of the cutscenes in Halo, people will buy it for billions and billions of dollars.
Dude, I watched like a 40-minute iteration of all the cutscenes in Halo a few months ago.
The new remastered
it was so
ones?
good. It was. I don't even know, but
if
it was
they
just
look
every
better, if they look nice, then they.
I don't even think they
remastered ones.
did. It was just every cutscene in Halo in order, and it was so like entertaining.
No. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like they are sitting on perfect stories. I mean, imagine have you guys played BioShock?
A little.
But I mean, just pick a fucking video game franchise other than the Nintendo ones. Like, you can make such an easy movie out of Halo. Like, that's...
Oh, it would be a good one, dude? Gunmetal.
Well,
Yes.
No. But God of War would be a great one.
How about Magic the Gathering?
Honestly, Magic the Gathering would be good.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing
Yeah,
is like,
there you
again,
go.
you don't even need to make a fucking good movie. You can just make something that's like the same quality as a Marvel movie, and it will still sell billions. Because I'm gonna go watch fucking Master Chief punch a bunch of brutes in the face. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you?
But it's a delicate thing because you're dealing with canon.
Well, I mean, it's...
You know, like you really
have to
piss
copy
people
it.
off.
And
if
you
just
have to acknowledge it.
disturbs-
Like, and you're not wrong. And that's what people hated about the Assassin's Creed movie. It's like it didn't mention the Animus at all.
It didn't mention the Animus?
No.
Oh my god.
See, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? Like, the whole...
Yeah.
Like,
So in that first Assassin's Creed game, they say the world is going to end in 2012, and I was very worried in real life.
I mean, it's a pretty
that first
reputable
Assassin's
story.
Creed movie or game was like when you get like the eagle vision at the end, and you walk
Yeah.
around and you see like all the things written in blood.
Yeah.
Like Patient 13, and
Yeah, that
everyone's
was
like,
weird.
"Oh fuck, the pyramids!" Like, "Oh, the next game's gonna be in Egypt." Like, Japan.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was all that kind of stuff, and then like
There's so much cryptic shit.
in the end of the second one, you like are talking to the god or to the
Yeah,
god.
man.
Yeah, like
she
the
looks
Pope
like-
turns into the god or something, right?
Well, no, yeah, they go into like the chamber and then like Athena
Whoa.
or whatever.
It's
or
cool
Juno.
though. It's really cool.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. And she looks at the camera and is like, "I'm talking to you, Desmond," and you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's a huge reveal, like that. And if they just fucking copied it, like honestly, just about frame for frame, they
Like,
would
was
have no
that good?
problems.
Or was I just a child in that?
No,
like,
I mean it was good, and you know how I know it's because
Yeah.
I went back and played those games, and then I also went back and played games like Assassin's Creed 3, which was not as good.
The Revolutionary War one.
Yeah, I mean I like the setting, but they just botched the overall like bigger story.
Right.
Ezio
Ezio was the coolest story ever, though. That game was really good. Assassin's
Oh,
Creed
yeah.
1 and 2.
Hey, that
but
was
especially
fun.
2 were so good.
I mean, two is probably. I mean, for the time when 2 came out, it was definitely the best game out. Like how
Yeah.
stylish it was with the things you could do, like even the base building and stuff like that. Like,
it was so much fun.
I mean, and
It was tight.
yeah. But if you look, I mean, if you go back and look at it, like, I mean, Half-Life would be a great movie to make a movie out of. Fucking Red Dead Redemption, you know, any
Just
of
Cause
the
2.
Yeah, Just Cause 2 would be, but the thing is, if you put someone like Michael Bay in charge of a Just Cause 2 movie, it will be enjoyable.
It'd be, yeah,
You know what I
it'd
mean?
be trash, though.
Like, yeah, it will be a bad movie, but it would make a lot of money. You can't argue that. Like, it just
Well-
would make a fuck ton of money, and that's what this is really about. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, shitty. Like, this is one thing that helped me like try to wrap my head around becoming a fucking creative and content creator. Is like, oh, you don't have to be good to be successful. Oh, not at all. No, there's a plenty of people that have a very stable career in Hollywood, just churning out jack shit and just bad movies. Because at the end of the day, if you hit your shit on time, you stay under budget, you do everything that you're kind of supposed to do, like, who cares? I mean, like, Michael Bay is the best example of that. Like, none of those Transformer movies are good, but there's like 5 of them.
Whoa, Transformers 1 was kind of cool.
Okay, Transformers 1 was kind of cool. You're right. But even still, it's like, you wouldn't, like, it's like a 3 out of the 5, you know? Like, I wouldn't put it out of 10,
Well-
it's probably like a 5.
John, if you need any actors, I think you got three studs in this chat.
Johnny's Angels.
Look in your chat.
Johnny's Angel.
Yeah,
That's upsetting.
now, that's a good movie right there. You know, you write that script, John. That's how you make $1 million.
Johnny's Angels. I will say something that is intriguing me, and you guys would like this, is that that new iPhone 12, those cameras are sexy.
Dude, I saw a picture that got taken of Alex. Like, he blew into the foam on his beer, and someone happened to take a picture of him right when he did that. And it's insane, the quality of the picture. You can see, like, the foam bubbles on all the little foam droplets in the air.
And that's not even
And
12.
you can see the trees focused in the background on a mountain like a mile away.
No, I mean, the iPhone 12 Pro
It's wild.
has a actual cinema quality camera in it. It broadcasts and it like records in the Dolby digital thing that, like, you know how in IMAX or whatever, it's like you're watching Dolby Cinema or whatever. Like, that's fucking, I mean, it's stupid. It's for the price. It's like $1,500. Like, and there are very few TV screens that can broadcast, like, play that back in the proper quality that this fucking phone can do. But when I saw that, I was like, fuck, like, that'd be great. Like, I shoot all my videos on my phone right now anyways. So
It'd be actually like good quality, like as good as you could want.
well, I mean, that it would be unnecessarily good. It would be 4K at 60 frames when realistically so few people have 4K monitors, and so, I mean, and especially not on their phones. And at the end of the day, my target audience is people on their phones on YouTube. Like, if I was making, like, if I was an indie filmmaker right now and I was sitting down and I was saying, hey, what's the cheapest way I could buy like a high quality camera? iPhone 12, 100%. And it would be as good as anything you'd see in the theaters because it's
And
fucking
useful because you have
ridiculous.
all these apps and systems synced to it.
Yep, and it's the 5G is really nice.
Hmm.
But no, I mean, it's an exciting time for phone cameras. What I will say is that I would like to see new features that aren't just fucking new cameras, but until I think that's the dual screen revolution that will eventually happen.
Foldable phones.
Yeah. I don't
Hang
think
on.
they're going to be for everyone, but I think, like, because realistically, like, where is the technology going to progress? Like, I don't know. I generally have no idea. Like, at this point, like, they have 4K phones that have higher refresh rates than my fucking computer monitor. You know, like, what
Right.
else are we going to like, what else are we really going to put in that other than, like, the
I
second
don't know.
screen?
You're kind of right, though. I mean, they seem to be like, the improvements are not like revolutionary.
Yeah, maybe we
It's just-
focus on something else.
Well,
Yeah.
it's speed and camera, and the reason I say foldable is that when Microsoft announced its foldable phone, which kind of is booty because to be foldable in the way they wanted it to, they sacrificed a lot of, like, the speed and the camera quality and things like that. And I'm, like, not gonna buy a phone that's slower than my current phone. I just refuse. And so I think when but what they said is the reason they did that is because humans love dual screens. Like, at work, you have a dual screen. Like, it just, if you watch people's brainwaves, and they know this because they're fucking Microsoft and they've done millions of dollars of testing and shit like that. But, like, it's I guess, easier to enter flow states with two screens. And that's why I can see foldable phones taking off in a big way. Because when you open that first thing up and you're able to put like the YouTube video that you're taking notes on and then the note thing right next to it, which is something we can already do with just a pen and paper and a fucking TV screen. But when it's in your hand like that, apparently people's brains, and they show all the scans and shit like that. It was like a TED Talk thing, and they're like, people go nuts.
Because I'm always using many monitors.
No, I mean, and at my job, like 2 monitors is totally like it's required, basically. Like, and a lot of that has to do with fucking poorly optimized apps, but at the same time, like the big feature on all OSs now is screen snap, snapping one window to the left side, snapping one window to the right, because we just love that. Like, that's why books are written on 2 pages instead of just as one long scroll.
What about 3 pages?
I mean,
Whoa.
I'm a big fan. Give me as many monitors as I possibly can hold. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. I love that idea. But I think phones are going to be very interesting to see where they go, because they have kind of.
I'm kind of thinking what we're gonna have is like an eye patch. It's like a little screen on the inside of the eye patch, and so you have like, we'll all just walk around with eye patches on, and then
Well,
Yeah, I
Apple
think we're
Glass
just gonna
is
have
coming.
interfaces. Like,
But what about your depth perception?
screw
bro,
it.
you just don't need that. I mean, your eye patch also has a camera on the outside.
Yeah,
You can signal back to your
it
brain.
can show you where you're going.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the Apple Glass is their glasses that are coming out. Like, it's not.
But I'm thinking of an eye. Is it an eye patch or not, John?
No, but it's. I mean, it's.
If it's not an eye patch, I don't want to hear about it. Because I think that it goes with the look, right? It's kind of like a cyberpunk kind of look. We're all wearing eye patches, yeah.
I mean,
Dude, and what if we're all still wearing masks, so we end up just having one eye out?
Oh my god, that would be so.
did you know Apple actually has their own masks?
Apple masks?
Yeah, they give them to their employees only, though.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Pretty.
Come
good.
on!
I know. How can
Did you guys wear masks at your work, Cooper?
No.
Get nice and sweaty in the CrossFit gym.
I mean, have you had people be like, "Yeah, guys, I got COVID." Like,
Early on, there were a total of 2 people, but that was it. There was never like an outbreak or anything. It was just one. It was 2 separate incidents, like a long time ago, and there hasn't been any issues.
No,
It's just honestly, it's only like people who are at low risk that are coming in anyway.
No,
And,
I mean 100%. Like you can do it all smart.
Keep them. Yeah, we keep them spaced. We keep it clean as clean as we can. But the reality is, no.
Well, because you can't. I mean, I don't think like realistically speaking, unless you're running like around like a large group of people, I probably wouldn't wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, I don't know how it all works, but apparently they say the fucking like outside air alone just helps not spread it so much.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just a matter of droplets floating in the air. So if you're outside,
The hard part is gonna be
just don't circulate around as much. You know,
Right, you can spread them farther to more people.
Yeah.
The hard part is gonna be fucking winter, man.
Yeah, winter's going to be interesting. I was watching the debate, and it was like Trump was doing some thing where he kind of just said a bunch of words and drowned out the conversation for a minute.
I can't watch those debates, dude.
And Biden was like, no, don't listen to him. We are heading into a dark winter, people. And I was like, yeah, we are.
The only person I listen
like
to
he's
anymore
distracting
is
you.
Fauci,
Like, don't listen
man.
to this guy. Like, seriously.
I can't watch fucking like even CNN and shit like that.
It's
like,
I know.
because my grandpa flips around like Fox and CNN. And I'm like, I hear it all, and I just get so depressed because it's just,
rough.
I mean,
The
just
debates are
everybody
hard.
is just so mean right now.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I'm just like, oh man, and I don't want to do this at all. And then I just fucking zone out and play VR until my eyes bleed.
Yeah, everyone is so mean.
No, I mean it's
That's
unbelievable. Like I can't.
Dude, I see it on the street. when I'm just
Oh, I
walking
bet.
the grub because I'm in the city, so there's lots of people, like I don't know, you can just tell relations are weird right now between
I mean,
just strangers.
it's definitely more
Yeah.
hostile than it's ever
It's
been.
just
And everybody's wearing
strange.
face masks.
Everyone's
Yeah.
wearing masks. Dude, people I can't walk on the same block as someone without them crossing the street.
Well,
Really?
that could be for another
Yeah.
reason.
I don't know
Is it
why.
'cause you're
Yeah,
naked,
I swear to
Dylan?
God,
Yeah.
I rarely even cross someone on the sidewalk.
You know what's funny, Dylan, is I have not really had that experience here in Arlington, which is also
True.
a liberal area. But I go on runs a lot and I go on walks and stuff, and it's people kind of get out of your way, but some people just don't even care.
No,
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Richmond's
All I'm saying.
a much more historically
Right.
charged place. It's
Right.
there's no way it's not going to be. But did I tell you about, guys? I might have told Cooper this about the time I got caught in the protest.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Mm.
So it was when I was on the way to your place, Cooper, dropping off the mic stand that I got in.
Oh
DC,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I made a wrong turn. I mean, I didn't even make a wrong turn. I was just following my Google Drive, the Google Maps thing. And then all of a sudden, I see 3-4 cops just zoom by me in the left lane. And I'm like, oh no, what's going on? And then cops are out of their cars. They're like, pull over to the side of the road. I'm just like, oh shit. And fucking sure enough, it was the day Breonna Taylor's, the guys that shot her didn't get charged. And there was a massive protest for her just coming down the street, right at me. And all these other cars that were just, I mean, and I saw, you see all those videos about, people, driving onto the wrong streets during protests and all of that shit. And I was like, oh my God, I do not want to be in a car. I was thinking about, getting out. It's so fucking... They come by.
I assume you had just been listening to some Guinea Pepper.
No, I mean, basically, and I was just sitting there, eyes bloodshot as hell, being because I didn't know what to do. I was in my car, and some guy was going up to my window. He's like, honk, honk, and I was like, I'm not gonna honk because I don't want anyone to think that I'm fucking about to run them over. And so all I did was I just opened my sunroof and did the power fist out the window.
They all just walk past you. What happened?
Well, that was it. There was a guy. The one thing I will say is that
That's
because
so
they all
good.
just went by me. Because at the end of the day, they were just on the street and they knew we were driving. It wasn't a very planned. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that guy on the freeway or anything like that. And even that was an accident. But it's there were several other cars. The cops sectioned us off to begin with. So they knew, and we weren't gonna it wasn't bad blood or anything like that. But I just didn't know what to do because here I was, just being a degenerate, and fucking all of a sudden there's powerful movements going by. Everyone's yelling no justice, no peace. I'm just in my car listening to an
Sitting there.
audiobook.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to do. I just threw up the fist out the window. I was like, yeah, yep, yeah. And then the one thing is that there was a guy who was recording something, and he could see how frazzled I clearly was by this whole thing. So he maybe spent a minute of his camera just trained on me, looking panicked.
Where is this
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't find it. I never bothered to find it because I don't want to look as white as that makes me look. I just looked like I was in just the worst spot possible. And just being out there and just
Wait,
whatever.
where was it?
It was by not Pennsylvania Avenue directly, but do you guys know where the Reagan Building is? In DC.
Oh, so you were in DC.
Yeah, I mean, I was in DC proper.
Wow, yeah.
And so, and I was just like, yeah, because I didn't, I support it, fuck it, but I just didn't know what to do, and I was just not. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I just had no idea. And the worst part was, I wanted to go to Games Workshop to buy some paints and some Warhammer.
Oh no, I feel.
And I just couldn't. But yeah, no. I mean, that was my time and my experience with being a revolutionary, which I am now, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like you got really involved.
I would say I was more involved than other people for sure. But I would love to find that video of just me just like being very panicked in my car. Like,
Dude, I would
clearly in
love to see that
distress.
video more than anything right now.
I mean, it was just a funny thing at the end of the day. I mean, super sad, the overall thing, but just in
Like,
general,
where
pretty
did you
funny.
see it? Like, give me a lead.
Huh? The guy was just a random recorder. Because, I mean, everyone has like a good DSLR camera now and like a lighting rig. And I guess.
But, like, you saw it on the internet?
No. For him, he just came up to me like next to my car window and like trained
just
his
stood
camera
there?
on me. Yeah, for like a good
What?
minute.
That's kind of freaky.
No, and I was freaked out about it. And that's why
You
I
just
know.
stood there?
Well, no, I mean, everyone was moving around, and he used my face, and then like panned to the crowd, and then panned back to me, and I was just like, yeah.
I still want to find this.
No, I mean, I
That's-
hope
need
he
to
kept
look-
it. I mean, you could the
Maybe
way
he
to
listens
find
to this
it.
podcast.
Yeah,
Someone
I
put
mean,
a post
maybe,
on Reddit, like, I
Probably.
need to find a video.
yeah, of my buddy who was just panicked in his car, throwing up a power fist. And I was
Arlington,
like,
Arlington, Virginia.
I know, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was just a whole thing. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was a good story, and I'm a little glad it happened. I know I'm fine with it happening. I'm proud. I can admit that. But no, in general, I think things have gotten definitely crazier, and I think that's also why this fucking movie hits so hard. Even
Yeah,
now,
the movie hit even harder now.
is
And it was
because
made
they're
in
like
2019.
because this came out pre-riots, like pre.
Yeah, the
Floyd,
riots
all that
were
stuff.
right on point. It was like they predicted it. Like,
Yeah, it's that people and just fucking, and he's not wrong. Like at the end of the day, if you take away some of those services, like if the guys can't get their meds, like then they're gonna psychotically break down. And it's just a fucking, it's a heavy story no matter how you slice it, and it's only done
Yeah.
better by how good of a fucking actor Joaquin Phoenix is. I mean, how much he changed his body alone. Oh my god.
Yeah,
So
he looked,
skinny.
yeah, he just looked fucking not okay.
Yeah, he looked
you know?
really.
And he always, whenever he had his shirt off, he always did this thing where he like kind of pushed his shoulder forward and like put his shoulder blade out, so it like made him look kind of like weird and like alien.
Kind of hunchbacky.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
like he's
yeah.
stretching his shoelaces in that
Yeah.
first scene, and there's that horrible like leather being pulled apart sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's so well done. Like at the end of the day, I felt bad for anyone who was going up for an Oscar against him because there was just
He
no
won
way
it.
around
Didn't
Yeah,
he
won.
win it?
I mean,
Good,
you
good.
couldn't have not given it to him.
Right. He was so good.
Damn, that's two
He's so
people who played
convincing,
Joker
too.
now who have won an Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that's the crazy thing about it is like, and that's why Jared Leto is because Jared Leto's a good actor. Like when he wants to be, he can crank it out. And when you're told you're playing the Joker, like that, I mean, that's how James Bond almost used to be. Like those are really big technical acting shoes to fill. Like you have Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, and now Joaquin that have just murdered it. Like they brought their own spin, like I don't even know.
So
his
I almost think
character.
I almost think Jared Leto just like got a bad rap. Like they made him like,
His movie sucked.
yeah, the movie sucked, and they kind of, I'm sure he gets a little creative input, but like he's not like doing his own makeup. I doubt. Like
he
you know,
at a certain point he could, especially with the makeup thing, and I think he was even the guy that removed a lot of the face tattoos, especially the one that said damaged across his forehead.
yeah,
like,
that's like
like
so cheesy.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that I know the type of Joker he was going for, which is like in the original Joker was more of a gangster, of like that suit. Like,
So this is something that I've kind of want to bring up, and it's kind of off that point. Sorry, go ahead and finish, and then I'll say something.
And so, but so that's what he was kind of aiming for, like at the end of the day. And he's not wrong. Like it is a hard role to jump into because people have expectations about it. And more importantly than all of this stuff is that Joker is really, at the end of the day, what it is it's a vehicle for Harley Quinn. Because Harley Quinn was the star of Suicide Squad. She got her own standalone movie. I mean, before Batman. Like, you know how crazy that is? Like, Joker and Batman should be the first movies you start your DC universe with. If not the first, very close. Like, they just have to be, because the Joker's, I mean, that is DC Comics. And so to have the Joker serve as the vehicle for Suicide Squad, like, that's just a bad use of the character, and it was never going to turn out well.
Suicide Squad was just dumb plot too.
Well, and they're already rebooting it.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's too soon.
But okay, so I watched this video a few months ago because I've always really liked the Joker too, just like as a character. And this guy was like, and it was really in depth. But this guy was basically saying like every generation, the Joker is kind of transformed, like the type of villain he is, and so it has to do with like, I guess, just certain things, but basically he starts off as like kind of like a gangster in like the 40s and 50s and stuff, like kind of like a classic criminal, and then he turns into like, oh, what does he turn? He turns into a philosopher, and then he turns into like a trickster with like Jack Nicholson in like the 80s or 90s, and then with Heath Ledger he turns into a terrorist, with like the most modern, and like that is what he was like in The Dark Knight. Like, he literally was just a terrorist.
No, 100%.
And so it's just going to be interesting to see like if Joaquin Phoenix like ushers in the next era of Joker as just like this guy who's just like legitimately really mentally ill, and like maybe a little bit less like devious, but still nonetheless does a lot of harm.
I agree, and I think in general what I'm very interested to see is, so in the next Batman movie, the villains are, well, I guess Catwoman, but she's always fucking like half of a villain, you know what I mean? But the Riddler and the Penguin.
How are they going to make the Penguin serious? Is my question.
Colin
Like,
Farrell's doing it.
Huddle close. It's cold tonight.
Well,
the Penguin is just such a joke of a character. It's like, I'm the Penguin.
well, but
The short, fat guy.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
The
you're not
Riddler is
wrong.
poor man's Joker. Like, what?
Well, but see, that's the thing, and that's kind of what you brought it. The point you kind of showed is that Riddler is sort of a poor man's Joker if the Joker is smart, and Joaquin's Joker is kind of the antithesis to a Riddler.
I know. I thought after Dark Knight that following Dark Knight up with a Riddler movie would have been cinematic gold. Like the situations you could put together with riddles, you know?
Well, the problem is that it
would have been
would have been
epic.
too close.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that because at the
But
end of the
that's
day,
serious
the Riddler's
potential.
thing is like those far-fetched plans.
Wait, how is the Riddler different than the Joker? They're
That's
really
a good.
good.
Yeah, that is a good question.
The Riddler is named Edward Enigma, as in Enigma, as in you don't know what it is, which is a pretty creative thing. And he begins as a private detective who eventually, his whole bit isn't with even causing crime. His whole thing he loves is just trying to figure out who the flying fuck the Batman is. And that's his whole deal. That's his whole game. And it's just fucking, it's a hard character to distinguish from the Riddler because, like Cooper said, especially with the Dark Knight Joker and Heath Ledger, they are essentially the same character in that movie. Joker figures out who Batman is. Like, his whole game is trying to get Batman to like take off the mask, and that's why they bring in Harvey Dent to say, I'm Batman, you know? And then they have those moments where it's like, oh, there's a bomb strapped to one boat and then bomb on the other. Like, you have to solve this impossible puzzle. And it was more about Batman kind of flexing his detective skills, whereas historically the Riddler's whole thing is trying to get Batman to kill, or not the Riddler, the Joker's whole thing is trying to get Batman to kill. Because the second Joker can do that, then Batman and the Joker are the same. And so that's why at the end of the day, he's like, when an unstoppable force meets a movable object in The Dark Knight Rises, that's why, I don't know, in all the comics that you guys haven't read and all that shit, it's like his whole bit is like, kill me, like, do it. Like, I know you want it. It would be so much easier if you did. Like, come on, just kill me. And he never does. And that's also why people really fucking hated Batman versus Superman, because Batman's killing people. He's branding them alive. Like, Batman versus Superman was just such a bad movie. That's why people hated the first Superman, Man of Steel, was because at the end of that movie, Superman snaps someone's neck. And it's like, oh, he's Superman. Like, legitimately, he could just grab that. Even if he's another Kryptonian, he could just grab him and fly him into space at any point in time. Like, I don't know. And so you're not wrong, Cooper. Like, the Riddler is set up, especially in the modern view of him, as the poor man's Joker. The best example of him that I would say this time around would be to go back and play the Arkham Knight games. Because that kind of sets up the difference between how the Riddler functions and how the Joker functions. Because those games are fantastic. Those games are probably the best representation of any of those comic book characters.
I guess my point is just that the Joker and the Riddler are just kind of like, they're very similar. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they're very similar no matter how you frame it.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, regardless, it's like,
No, one word.
Not very original.
Colored greens. But I'm excited. I don't know if you guys know who Paul Dano is, but he is the Riddler in the new movie.
It's kind of like when J.R.R. Tolkien, you know, all the forests are the same. They get real sleepy. They're elves.
No, you're not
You
wrong.
know?
Yeah, and yet they're completely different. Like, or they're supposed to be completely different.
Yeah.
But I guess in the new movie, he's going to be a serial killer, the Riddler.
Oh, I looked up who this guy is. I
Paul
know
Dano.
who the guy is.
He's a great
Yeah,
actor.
I'm actually just trying to figure out who the Riddler is. That's all I typed in. Yeah, he literally is. He also wears a green suit. Like,
No, yeah,
he's also like
Yeah.
a trickster.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, come on, like he's just like, I can't believe like.
Oh, Jim
like,
Carrey.
Have you guys not seen those Batman movies?
I don't
No.
know.
When Jim Carrey's the Riddler? Oh, the fucking Michael Keaton ones with Batman.
You're talking about The Mask?
No.
We should watch that movie next.
We should watch one of the original Batmans.
No.
Wait, who's the?
The Mask. Oh, you're saying
We
the
instantly
Mask.
became just a comic book podcast.
Wait, who's playing the Riddler?
Paul Dano. If you look him up, he was in There Will Be Blood. He was in Prisoners. He plays a really good weirdo.
Oh yeah.
He looks like a weirdo.
Well, and he
He
also
is a
looks like the
weirdo.
Riddler. Like, if you had to take a stab in the dark at what the Riddler looked
What have I seen this guy in?
He's in,
that like I
There Will Be
watched
Blood was
a lot
his
of-
big movie.
No,
He's in
that's
12
not.
Years a Slave, Prisoner.
Yeah, I've never seen this guy in my life.
This
He's
guy-
the kid in There Will Be Blood?
No, he's the priest.
Oh, he's in Gangs of New York.
Paul
Oh, no.
Dano?
Never mind. That's the same guy. I'm looking at There Will Be Blood, and it's Bill the Butcher is the actor because it's Daniel Day-Lewis. Wait, no. What is this guy in though?
I mean, his biggest roles are Little Miss Sunshine. There Will Be Blood is probably the one he got an Oscar for. Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal and fucking Hugh Jackman.
Huh.
He's a character actor though, so he plays he's very rarely the lead.
Oh, John, you'll like this. You know what he's in?
What?
War and Peace. He's Pierre.
Oh, dude, yeah,
He's
man.
Pierre Bezukov.
I
Yeah.
finished that book, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How? Yeah, it's a long one.
It is a long one. And at the end, his whole epilogue thing where he just completely stops talking about the book and starts talking about like how free will is an illusion is like listening to that for 3 hours made my brain really, really hurt. And I was
Yeah, I bet.
I was just like this guy was nuts. And then I looked into him and I was like, oh, he is nuts. Big advocate of communism, turns out. Who would have thought the Russian writer?
Jim Carrey looks like a pretty good Joker. He's wearing like some
Riddler, but yeah.
tights.
Jim Carrey
Riddler.
is a really good actor. Like,
Yeah, he's wearing some interesting clothing here. That's for sure. Let me just
Get
get
a
this.
picture here.
Yeah, I'm
this
showing it.
this is one of my he's one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite one of my favorite Batman movies. So this was the movie that my parents told me to watch. They're like, "This is Batman,"
Ugh.
and it was Val
Yeah.
Kilmer.
Oh my god! I wish you wouldn't have sent that.
There's more like that too, dude.
What is this photoshopped in this cane? What was
That's his question mark cane.
I mean, he
just
just
looks so
looks like such
fake.
an idiot. Like he
It
just looks like a
definitely leaves
shitty
me
Joker.
with more questions than answers.
Yeah.
What is this movie like?
Oh, it's,
Yeah, I
it's,
kinda wanna
it's
watch
campy.
it
Very.
now.
If you
Have
guys
you
Can we
seen
review this?
Cat?
This is fantastic. I'm
Jacob,
totally down.
wait, you like this one too?
Okay. Oh, Kazer's typing. That's
Oh,
not
no.
good.
Yeah, that's,
Oh,
that's
no.
not good. That's the opposite of good.
What?
This turns me on, dude. I mean,
But no, I mean, I would love to watch Batman Forever. That was the Batman I grew up with.
what,
Which is,
what was this Batman called? This is called what?
this is called Batman Forever. And so there was like
I'm
this
banishing
weird,
Kazra.
I feel like I've probably seen that a long time ago. Sorry, go on.
It's the weird Tim Burton era. It's like when they couldn't find a good Batman, so they gave it to George Clooney and then Val Kilmer, and they put like nipples on the bat suit, and like it went back to that kind of funny thing of being like, oh, this was like not so much a fucking like serious movie as it was like a comedy almost.
Yeah, no, I've seen those. I had them on cassette or something.
Yeah, I had it
Yeah.
on cassette too.
I know I had the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
So I believe
Yep.
that was the one.
I thought.
I haven't seen any of these.
Poison Ivy was
Poison
hot.
Ivy. Yeah.
What do you mean was, dude? But no, the Batman, the Tim Burton Batman series, and that's the one Jack Nicholson I think was the first one, and Danny DeVito as Penguin.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen some clips of that.
Mhm.
Just so great. Like,
Isn't it like where Catwoman has like 9 lives or whatever, and she gets like Danny DeVito kills her a bunch of times or something?
honestly, I don't remember that part. I think
Oh, okay.
More like
mixing that
9
with the movie
curves.
Catwoman.
Meow.
Oh, Jesus.
Poison Ivy. Wait.
Yes, send some hot Poison Ivy porn in the chat here.
Dude, I'm sure it exists.
Yeah, what do you
Let's just
mean?
say that.
That had to have been one of the first. You know what I mean?
Oh, here you go.
What do we got here?
That's not even that good, dude.
It's weird. Kind
It's
of
like,
yeah.
That's a
Oh, wait.
buxom babe.
yeah. What? She's got like a double chin here.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not a good one.
Wait. There's
They could have made her way hotter.
It's not letting me.
Yeah,
Super-
because I have
super
parental screening on.
Is that what it is?
Oh yeah. Well, you guys get the point.
Yeah, I see.
Wait, I had like a moment earlier while John was talking about.
Yeah, that's the one I tried to get on there, dude.
While John was talking about lore, where I realized the Joker was pretty damn good.
Yeah,
oh,
the Joker.
you mean like in like
so
the little background things?
Like while I was watching it, I had problems with it, namely the relationship with that girl at first rubbed me the wrong way, but then it quickly, went away when they revealed it was supposed to be nonsense. But then like other stuff, just like it didn't make sense to me how he shot those guys on the train and it like cascaded to Revolution. Like that just did not work for me at all.
Right.
That seemed like, like that happens, like as sad as it is, like that doesn't cause a revolution, And it did in this movie. And after that it was like slow burn. Like it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was gonna be. Like he killed those guys then killed his mom in secret, and then killed his friends in secret, like all in the next day. Like it wasn't like all this crazy stuff amounted to it. It was really just the three guys he killed. And that rubbed me the wrong way for like immersion, I guess. But then that ending twist with like he's talking to that lady the whole movie, just like the black lady with the short haircut, and then when he's in the facility, it's a black lady with a short haircut. And it's like, oh, wait, what is this and how did he get here? What's even going on? Was that all in his head? And then you start thinking back like how he like projected himself into the TV show and imagined his relationship with the girl. And then you're like, oh God, how much was imagined? And then it starts to explain the kind of, I guess, plot holes in a weird way. Like it ties itself up. Like, oh, maybe it didn't even cause a revolution because he was just crazy and it was all in his head.
Yeah, like, and it's like, why did Bruce Wayne come up with all this?
No.
No, because we do know. Yeah, we know that Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, so.
Yeah.
Well,
so the revolution like, wasn't fake.
It after like a day later, that kind of dawned.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something you think about. Still,
it's a good movie. Like it
was a good movie.
No, yeah, and I think it was exactly what DC wants to fucking say. Like, hey, Marvel, like you wish you could fucking make a deep movie like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where's the Iron Man movie where he's dealing with alcoholism, bitch? Like,
right. True. But okay. So one other thing I want to say is like, those detectives suck. Like,
what was their fight?
Should they have seen him the first time? Like, okay,
too. A clown shoots a guy. It's like, well, I just gave you a gun. And
you're
clearly nuts.
It's obviously you. yeah. So that was just something to say there.
Hey, get back here!
I do love that the last, basically from when he kills his mom on, I think is some of the most engaging movies that I've seen. Like,
do you think his mom was lying?
Huh? Well, I mean,
was his mom Poison Ivy?
No, his mom. Like the whole point of his mom is that she was actually like a terrible, terrible mother to him, and he never like realized it because he just lied to himself.
And that was dark in its own right. Like she seemed sweet the whole movie,
right?
But then you find out like he's just being lied to, and so are you. It's like,
I kind of thought he's Batman's half brother though.
No, yeah,
that would have been cool. That would have been a cool twist, actually.
That's what Hannah thought. She was like, "Oh, he's Batman's brother." Like
that's what I thought too.
And I was like, "I don't know. Do you want me to tell you what happens in the movie? Like,
no,
I'm not gonna like."
That's just what they want you to think. It's like a weird, like a normal thing to cling to in the movie. But it's like, no, it's actually just fucked.
Well, no, and it builds up the Thomas Wayne and his eventual hate of Bruce Wayne, and like how it's all
just psychosis.
Yeah, and I mean,
they have no relation.
Yeah, and his mom's insane too. So
I friggin' loved the.
Shouldn't say insane.
Well, no, because and they play into that because even if he's not biological, remember when they're talking about the condition because he has that compulsory laughter thing. It says common in people with sustained head injuries. And when they talk about the mom and how they found Arthur tied to a radiator with head injuries, it's like the mom kind of let that happen.
Yeah.
Like that's what caused it all. And that's why it's like, oh yeah, he was always so happy. It's like, yeah, because the guy beat his brain so bad that he can't not be sad. Like, but other things that I think my favorite scene though, in the entire movie, other than the end, because the end is just so well done, but the scene where he kills the guy that gave him the gun, and like then he has to like get the midget still in the apartment.
Oh, he's open the door,
and he's like, "Can you please open the door?" And it's like so awkward and so funny.
That was fucked. I did not know what was going to happen there.
It's so tense. Yeah, you don't know if he's about to kill him. Yeah, that was so tense. It was so well done.
It was so well done. I mean,
it was so well done,
and it was a small because then the next rest of the movie is such like a wild ride that you just immediately forget about what just happened. But that little scene is so well done, and how he's like, "You're the only one that was nice to me," and then even like when the guy's scared, he like, and he's sitting in the corner, goes, "Ah!" just to fucking scare the guy.
Yeah, he's scared.
Well, it's just showing that he's not entirely like reasonless. You know, he does have like a little bit of a heart left. He just thinks he's just justified in his own actions, you know.
No, yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that like, and even the music choices were so good. Like the classic rock that was played in like Benny and the Jets dancing down the stairs.
Oh yeah, and then it was in the white room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Or-
Sending the Clowns by Frank Sinatra. I mean, it was such a cohesive movie. Very on point, like the entire way down. And not a lot of waste.
Yep.
I do love the guy in charge of the records office though. When he's when he's reading about the story, he's like, "Yeah, it turns out she badly abused her son." And wait a minute, like,
wait, you said
you're the weird guy that's talking to me, and you're this. Oh,
yeah.
That little bit is just. I mean, that's what's kind of funny about this movie.
Rough, though. Imagine watching that movie as someone that's like actually disabled and outcast.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
it's
thinking of
tough.
like that.
Like thinking about being in like Arthur's situation is like that's bleak as fuck. Like I do not know what I would do. Like I'm just not in that at all. Like I'm, you know, like.
Well, and I get it, man.
It's so tough. Like that's what's.
Like,
I don't know.
like I mean, when I say I get it, I get why people, when this came out, were worried.
Yeah, it's tough. Like that's a very real thing for many people, and not even if you're disabled, just like if.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
weird if you're just an outcast. Like people.
Well, and it's
outcasts,
also the same logic that like suicidal people would have too.
Yeah.
If just this kind of thing of like everything's fucked, like I'm super insignificant, and especially like with like all of like the wealth gaps and all that shit, like he's not wrong. Like for some reason, people gave a shit about like the 3 Wall Street guys, but they wouldn't give a shit if Arthur died. And I guess that's what's so scary about it all is that you watch it and you go, oh yeah, I get why he shot that guy. Like he was insane, but he was having a very tough time.
Great movie. What's
movie.
next?
Yeah, I guess what is next is the final question before we sign off.
Can our criteria be better than Ink?
Yeah.
That's our only rating system.
Better than Ink. You know.
No. We're not even gonna get into this.
That's like our infographic. Whatever.
Yeah.
At the end, better than Ink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's better than Ink.
Maybe.
No,
I don't know. It's hard. It's just.
I don't know.
oranges.
I think Ink was almost as convincing of a character as the Joker, and almost as impactful too.
Nope.
Oh, that was actually Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
That was Ink.
No. Dude, I gotta watch Labyrinth. I'm stoked.
Okay, what's that?
I'm actually watching Borat 2 tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
I think that's gonna be heavy.
I don't think
when he's going.
I don't know if you've seen
I think it's gonna
Borat
be hard
1,
to watch.
but I wouldn't.
I watched it last night for the first time.
Oh really?
I'd never seen it, and I watched it last night for the first time.
That's shocking.
I know it was fucking hilarious, but also it's
so
very
funny.
cringe.
And how good of an actor is Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yeah, how does he do that?
I don't know, dude. The scene where he's just talking with the feminists, you know, and he's just like saying such horrible things.
Just so much of it.
Oh my god, it's so good, the whole movie. And then I foresee the second one being hard to watch, a lot of it, like when he's like going into all the Trump rallies and stuff, it's gonna be like wild, I'm sure. I think it's gonna be like pretty political.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason it went to Amazon, and there's a reason it's coming out like.
Should we watch
3 days
Borat too?
before the election? I don't want to discuss Borat 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of with John
No,
on that one.
I don't
want
wanna
to watch it,
discuss
but
it.
not.
I don't want to discuss
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I
mean,
am
will
watching
watch
it tomorrow because like we're just doing it as a like household just for shits. But
No, I'm looking over movies right now. Have you guys seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
No.
That's a pretty heady ass movie.
I don't really want like a drama, like something that's like that hard to follow. Like I want a good like storyline.
Gladiator.
Gladiator, you know, like
I straight up haven't seen Gladiator since I was a kid.
Yeah,
Gladiator might be too good.
I probably was
Oh,
young, middle school or younger.
I can tell John really doesn't want to watch Gladiator.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, maybe not Gladiator.
Well, I mean,
but
because here's my thing: is I
too good.
actually have seen Gladiator a lot, and there's nothing. As far as like discussion movies, like there really isn't anything there.
Right.
Like it is a great movie, but like it's like you could even go No Country for Old Men. Like there's plenty of other movies.
Have you guys seen The Green Room?
I watched Old Country for. I've never seen that
Say
movie.
The Grinch.
Oh,
The
Green
Green
Room.
Room?
I've seen Green. I love Green Room.
Green Room is fucking awesome, dude.
Have
You
you
would
guys?
like that one, Cooper.
Dude, Jacob, you recommended it to me. I was kind of disappointed.
Oh, you didn't like that movie?
Not really.
Oh,
not really.
Damn.
I mean, what it was great for a lock-in movie.
I like
Like a
that
one-room
movie, dude.
movie.
Sure.
But have you guys seen
You should watch the-
Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri?
No.
No, my mom told me it was good though.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite movies of the past few years that I watched, and I will gladly watch it again.
What was that called?
3 Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
No, I haven't seen that.
Basically, I mean, I think it's pretty good, and it's like a solid movie through and through with no bullshit like time warp plot lines or it's not Inception. Like it's much different.
It's like Gran Torino.
Well, it's like Gran Torino, but it's a movie that I can safely say is unlike basically any other movie I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'll do it. I don't know if you guys.
As long as
I
it's
mean,
good.
it's gotten great reviews. Like
I know a little bit about it. Like I've not seen it, but I know
Well,
it's
okay,
like a
as long as
drama. And
I mean, are you looking for something fun? Because this is
as
kind
long
of depressing.
Here's the deal. As long as it's good,
definitely
but
depressing.
you're not saying it's good because you're an English major. You're saying it's good. It really
No,
entertains you.
I'm saying this is good because it's just
sounds
flat
kinda
out
sad.
a good movie. It is.
Yeah.
Sad. I mean, it is
How
sad.
about,
I'm
like,
not telling you it's
Happy
not
Gilmore?
maybe we need an uplifting movie
Happy
Yeah.
Gilmore is
after
amazing.
Happy
Good old
Gilmore.
Adam Sandler, like Longest Yard or something.
sad. Okay, let me look.
Waterboy. After the Joker, we watched
Waterboy.
Waterboy.
The other
I have
side.
the Water Boy, dude, right here. It's
Yeah,
one of the.
What about a
few
happy
movies-
movie like
Wow.
Hotel Rwanda?
You have that movie?
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray.
What?
I do.
Blu-ray?
I have. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this, but like when we went over to my dad's house, we'd watch it every single time, and I'm not even
What?
joking.
I
It's
thought you
like-
guys watched Austin Powers every single time.
So it rotated between Waterboy and Austin Powers, but it was more so the Waterboy. So I've probably seen it upwards of 30 times.
I mean,
No,
Wow.
Austin Powers is pretty good.
Austin Powers is really
That's
funny.
a lot of times to see Waterboy.
Dude, I think I know almost every single line.
That movie, dude, I watched it recently and it
So
hit
good.
right.
So good.
It hit right.
So good, dude.
you guys,
We're gonna cut his fucking head off with that scene.
The water boy's a cheetah. Cut his head off.
all right, so I have a few loaded in the pipeline, but let me see one.
Okay.
So one that I like, that I personally like, because I think this is just a very inspiring movie, is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, that's a good movie, actually. I would rather watch Benjamin Button.
No. Benjamin Button's a slog. I like Benjamin Button, but it's like 2 hours and 30 minutes of Brad Pitt just like aging in reverse.
right.
Cool Runnings. Have you guys seen
What?
Cool Runnings?
No, I have not.
I haven't seen the
I want to
first
watch
one
a
you recommended.
documentary though.
Oh, it is not a documentary.
No, Cool Runnings is not a documentary.
I don't know anyone that would say Cool Runnings is close to a documentary.
It is not a documentary, that's for sure.
Did you look it up, Cooper?
I mean, it's about the Jamaican team,
bobsled
right?
Team, yeah. And it is,
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a true story.
No, I mean it is, but it's certainly not a documentary.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an entertaining film if I recall. But
Yeah. But then my other one I was gonna
Oh, it
say,
looked kinda
It's really
goofy.
kind of funny.
Yeah, actually, I'd be down to watch that.
so but
Cool
the
Runnings.
other tool one,
I only remember the very end, to be honest.
Oh, it's so good. It's good all the way through. But
Okay.
so the other two would be Big.
Big.
So I could watch Big. And
I
take
could
me
watch
back to
Big
living
too
with
because I
Jacob.
haven't seen Big. I only saw Big as a kid, and I would love to watch it as like a nearing 30-year-old adult.
Yeah.
Wait, what is big?
It's when Tom Hanks is a child, and the movie starts, he's a child, and
Oh,
then
I've
some
seen this.
shits transpire and he becomes Tom Hanks.
Yeah, but I've seen
And then
this.
he's just an adult that is not ready to be an adult, but being an adult. That's the movie.
So
Uh,
then the next one is
don't wanna
Jojo
It's basically
Rabbit.
Elf.
is what?
Jojo Rabbit.
I don't know what that is.
None of you guys know what Jojo Rabbit is, huh? About the
No.
little boy growing up in Nazi Germany when his imaginary friends.
Oh no, I've seen Jojo Rabbit.
What? Oh my God, Dylan.
No, I've seen that. Yep.
I don't know what that is. Oh wait, never mind.
I actually remember
seen
it well.
No, I mean,
didn't
He's
have
like a
that.
little Hitler, Jojo Rabbit.
no,
What is
it's
this?
about like him because it's like towards the end of the war, him grappling with like how awful, because like Nazi Germany at the end of the war was not a cool place to be. So you started seeing like if you were brainwashed by Hitler and all that stuff, you began seeing all of the fucking like the weaks the holes in his theories, so to speak. Like, hey, maybe
Right.
these Jewish people are people. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. If it's like really it's a good movie. Just the way it's shot and everything. It's like weirdly happy, but not at all.
But yeah, and so I mean, the other
All
one
about these movies.
is Cool Hand Luke. But
Wait, what was the first one you?
Where are you drawing these movies from, John? Are you just coming up with this on the spot?
no, I mean, I've been looking through like the IMDb top 250 and all this stuff. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty was the first one.
Cool Hand Luke is too old.
Dude, Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max, one of them. Let's choose one of the Mad Max.
I mean, if we're doing Mad Max, I don't want it to be Fury Road.
That's fine. I don't care, but any of them. Let's do one.
Yeah,
of
I'm
them.
down. I'm down to watch Mad Max.
Yeah, that's what we should watch.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so first one, Road Warrior.
Sure. Whatever you think is best.
All right.
I see Mad Max. Is there a new Mad Max coming out?
Yeah, well, it's a Furiosa movie.
Mad Max Wasteland.
I mean, let's do Mad Max 2. Mad Max is actually because that's like that's arguably more of a classic. It has the Thunderdome. It has Captain Humongous.
Nice. I've kind of vaguely remember this movie. I remember it's pretty fucking awesome.
Mel Gibson before he was outed as a racist. Okay, Mad Max 2.
Mad Max 2 Road Warrior. Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I'm playing the outro.
Sweet.
Elijah Hood here for the XFL Wildcats, and I'm a big Fly You Fools podcast fan, so I know they was looking for Elijah Wood, but they found me. Keep searching for that one true ring and rock on.
Oh,
All right.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
They found me.